Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how I modeled these props for an endless runner game that I'm planning to make. Now let me clarify that I'm probably not going to use these models in the final game. These are just going to act as placeholders for some time till I get some good ideas. Also, comment some suggestions or thoughts on the video and subscribe the channel for upcoming videos. With that being said, let's begin with the modeling. By the way, if you haven't seen the previous videos, I actually modeled a low poly character, rigged it and added animations to it. You should check that out. I'm using the base character that I modeled for reference here. So first of all, I added a plane and linked the material from the character and gave it a dark red color like a running track. Then I scaled it along the x-axis for 4 units and then added 8 cuts to the plane. Then I individually selected the alternate faces and scaled them to 0.2 units to make the partition lines and changed the color to white. Now the tracks position look equal. At this point I realized that I forgot to add the mirror modifier, so I added it. Better late than never, right? Then I changed the color of the outer area to green. I duplicated the face, scaled it down to form the base of the tree, and changed the color of the tree trunk. I used E to extrude, S to scale and G to move repeatedly to form a rough tree-like shape. I also moved the character on the side to decide on the tree height. Then I added an icosphere at the top to complete the tree. I gave it a green gradient color and just moved the vertices randomly to make something like a tree. Then I scaled the tracks along the y-axis and duplicated the trees in the green area as well. Then just for fun, I changed the color of all the trees into different shades. Now I joined the plane and trees into one, and with that the tracks are ready. Now it's time to model some obstacles. So I started by modeling a cone. I added a cube into the scene and shrank it down. Then I added a cylinder and changed the vertices to 8 and decreased the radius. Then I moved the cylinder in such a way that a small part is still inside the cube and then used the bool tool and subtracted the cylinder part out of the cube. Now the cube looks like this. Then I linked the material from the tracks and changed the color of the cube. I deleted the inside faces and extruded the edges along the z-axis. Then I selected the bottom face and reduced the height and placed the cone object at the ground level. I selected the top edges and scaled it down and filled the empty area. Then I added loop cuts at the top and changed the alternate faces to white. After that I selected 4 edges and used the bevel tool to give it some curves. And now the cone is ready. It looks like a VLC player icon. Then I added another cube, linked materials and all that stuff. I forgot to add mirror modifier for the cone, but I added it this time. Then I adjusted the shape of the cube to look like a hurdle. I added a loop cut at the corner and selected the bottom face and extruded it to the ground to make the stand or legs or whatever it is called. Then I duplicated this object and separated it by selection and made the other obstacle taller so that the player can slide from under it but cannot jump over it. Then I added loop cuts to it and added some details but failed miserably. So I just ended up dissolving the extra edges and used the knife tool to add the details. Then I colored it in a black and yellow pattern. Then I repeated this same design for the smaller obstacle. Then I renamed all the objects because I was getting confused with everything being called cubes. Then I wanted to make a collectible item, so to no one's surprise I decided to make a coin. For that I added a cylinder with 10 vertices and gave it a golden glowing color. Then I added some minute details by inserting both the top and bottom face and extruded it inside. Now the coin is ready as well. Then suddenly my brain started braining and I got an interesting tunnel idea. So I added a cube again and made a step or heighted ground or something like that and arranged that in an increasing height order. So what I was planning is something like this. The player can jump on them and slide in between the steps carefully to go inside the tunnel to get some big multipliers or bonus or something like that. Or you can just choose to go from the top. But then my brain stopped braining, because for this I will need the information of player speed, jump distance and sliding time. So this will have to wait for some time till I start working on the movement and stuff in Unity. Subscribe if you want to see that. So yeah, that's it for today's video. Tell me if you have any suggestion for obstacles or character accessories in the comments, and also a nice name for this game. In the next video, I will start the development in Unity. See you then. Bye.